Okay, have you guys ever, like, when you go from a mall or any shopping trip, or you just go out somewhere with your friends, or there's some kind of turbulence, and you exit out of the building or wherever you went to, and it's heavily raining. Then outside you see these just entire roads being covered by water. There's a few vehicles having trouble to function because of this excessive water. It's not quite a nice thing to see, right? It just creates a lot of problems. So, hello, I'm Henry. I'm grade 12 from Purposeful class. I'll be doing a PDP presentation regarding pollution to a natural disaster. So, what is the problem of all this? Why did I want to research more into this? Right? It is quite an interesting topic, as you know how I exited again. When I said I exited the building, and it creates a lot of like problems in your mind. Like this, it's not creating harmony inside of this community that we have. So I want to research more into this to see what is the cause of the main problem of this entire situation that we have in Surabaya. So the first thing, right, I scoped out more to research more into this. I obviously just picked out the location to be Surabaya because that is where most of us reside in, where we take our everyday lives in. And if we just scope it down to just Surabaya's natural disaster and pollution research, then we get to know more about our city that we always known and love. So my question is, how does pollution maybe correlate with the quality and frequency of these natural disasters? And natural disasters is probably what you think of is probably like floods, since Surabaya, well, it's known for having a lot of floods as its main natural disaster. There are a few key terms that I need to mention. Obviously, we're gonna talk about like the pollution, what pollution means in natural disaster. Pollution, in short, it just means harmful substances or chemicals that are added to the environment that isn't supposed to be there. So something that isn't supposed to be there is mostly harmful to the environment. And natural disasters, as you can see from the name, is a type of catastrophic event that happens naturally from nature. But in this case, if we alter nature through pollution, it is possible for us to create something called maybe artificial disasters. So my hypothesis for this is definitely that pollution will create natural disasters as a problem. And we'll talk about like agriculture and industrial over here. Agriculture just means that it's in the farming industry, right? Anything used for your like your food and stuff is agriculture. And industrial is your mass production of these, like the clothes and everything that is mass produced by factories. And tropical, since Surabaya again is in a tropical country, it's going to differ to that of other countries that isn't tropical. Most tropical countries do have sunny season and just rainy season, so it's different from that of other countries with different natural disasters. So there's also a few articles that I did research about this. The first we'll be talking about the environmental problems that we do have in Surabaya. Since, as we know, Indonesia is one of the most populated countries in the world. It's in the top 10. And because of this, and Surabaya is also the second largest city, which means there's a lot of people consuming products. And after you consume products, obviously we don't use all of it, we have to throw it away somewhere. And therefore this creates waste. And this waste, then if we just have an excessive use of this, we put it in random places. Even if you put it in the correct places, sometimes it gets displaced in one way or another. That is the environmental problems that we do have. And regarding, okay, how about we talk about the other way around? Again, these floods maybe cause pollution, for example. Floods, they can actually cause pollution, as when, you know, floods, they flow like a river, basically. If you have trash everywhere on the roads, everywhere, and there's a flood that's happening, because water always flows from a higher place to a lower place, and therefore it will bring trash with it as well, and therefore it creates more trash to more location that wasn't there before. There's an incident in 2011 in Japan, something called a black tsunami. So you may be wondering, this is quite scary. How can water suddenly turn black? In short, the black coloration is from an element called carbon. Carbon is the element that is produced by factories, or it can be from your vehicles that you use for transport. They create something called carbon, right? carbon is a waste product when you make some of the useful items you use, like your shirt and maybe some food that you have. It is a byproduct of that. And because of excessive use of these factories, they make a lot of carbon and it pollutes the water, and therefore it alters the effects of the tsunami, making a blacker color and making it 3 to 5 times more destructive than the average tsunami. And the after effects of this tsunami isn't that great as well, as it leaves carbon pollution everywhere throughout the city that is in effect. There's a few data collection methods that I took afterwards to maybe survey directly the people of Surabaya. My data collection methods, first thing I did was I made a survey, right? And I made a survey. Then after I made this survey, I then shared it to people to make sure they can fill out the form, and then I can analyze the data. For the interview questions, I also made some questions. Find the person I want to interview, which is this time is RT or RW, as far as you know, which is the Citizens or Neighborhood Association in English. So I asked them out to know more about this issue. Right? And the main data that I did end up collecting is from the survey. Most of them are from the eastern side of Surabaya, and 50% of them are female and 50 of them is male, so there's no gender bias in my data. And most of them are the younger generation, being 17 to 21 years old, 60% of them. Most of them said that they agree to the pollution causing more problems at them ending up to a natural disaster. And then because of this, they are kind of aware that pollution does lead up to a natural disaster. They said to solve this is a problem because governments don't do enough to solve this problem. They are quite ignorant, and that the government should add new regulations to reduce the amount of pollution that there is. But the thing is, if you do add new regulations, are they ready for a new change in quality of their products? Because obviously to alter that to reduce the amount of carbon emissions. And they're all pretty aware of this problem, but the thing is, awareness is definitely important, but just knowing what to do and not doing it is not enough to stop this pollution problem. They're only aware, but they don't act. 75% of the people in survey said that they haven't done anything to help organizations regarding natural disasters and pollution. So it just takes more effort than knowing. Yes, awareness is important, right? But we need to act as well. One of the solutions that I get from interviewing the FTRA or associations that I did interview them is they insisted a solution of a floating barrier or a floating trash bag system. Basically, you levitate the place that you want to put your trash in so it doesn't get affected by water. Or the other one is you put it through moving bodies of water where they can collect trash passively. That is the two solutions I got from the interview. So, what is in conclusion to all of this, right? What is in conclusion to all of this? We know that pollution is a massive problem for the entire world, but especially in Indonesia, it's more of a problem since it's very populated. It creates a lot of trash, and that's end up creating more disasters such as floods. So awareness is also important regarding these issues, but it's not just awareness that matters most. We need to act accordingly. I mean, I did tell you about the two solutions, about the trash bag system and the two trash system. But if I just tell you this and you don't actually apply it, then we're never going to solve the issue of these pollution leading to a natural disaster. So thank you again for listening to my presentation. I hope this is helpful for you in knowing more about our beloved city. Thank you and God bless.